At that moment, the truth that would shatter everyone's lives could no longer be hidden. In the heavy silence of midnight, even the walls of the mansion seemed to whisper secrets buried for years. Because this time, what was about to be revealed was not just a secret, it was a mother's guilt, a family's destruction, and a confrontation with no return. And the real question was, when this truth comes out, who will still be standing? As the first light of morning filtered through the grand windows of the mansion, the air inside still carried the weight of everything that had happened during the night. Mercan sat at the edge of the bed, staring into nothingness. It all seemed like it was over, but deep in her heart, something still felt wrong. Do you think Mercan is truly safe, or can she feel the storm that's coming? The door slowly opened, and Ateş walked in. When Mercan looked at him, her eyes were filled with both love and fear. Ateş stepped closer, knelt in front of her, and held her hands. "It's over now," he said, but even his voice didn't believe his own words. Mercan gently shook her head. "No, Ateş, this isn't over. I have a bad feeling." Those words tightened Ateş's expression, because he felt it too. At that same moment, in another corner of the mansion, Binaz stood frozen, holding a tray in her trembling hands. What she had just learned echoed in her mind. Murat, the boy everyone believed was Nerman's son, was actually Musian's son. Binaz struggled to breathe. "How is this possible?" she whispered. "Do you think Binaz can keep this secret, or will everything explode at once?" Her hands began to shake uncontrollably. This secret was more than a burden, it was a curse. Her conscience tightened around her with every passing second. "I have to tell someone, but who?" she thought. Just then, a voice behind her made her freeze. "What do you know about Murat, Binaz?" It was Musian. Binaz slowly turned around, her eyes wide with fear. I don't know anything, madam," she said, but her voice betrayed her. Musian stepped closer, locking her gaze onto Binaz. "Don't lie to me," she said firmly. That was the breaking point. "Do you think Binaz will reveal the truth, or will this secret cause an even bigger explosion later?" Meanwhile, Demet sat alone in her room. Nizar's arrest hadn't brought her peace. Instead, her fear had grown stronger. That mysterious message still echoed in her mind. "Everything started because of you." Tears filled her eyes. "What did I do?" she whispered. But deep down, she knew something from her past was coming back to haunt her. There was a knock on the door. Simel entered. "Demet, we need to talk." She stood up immediately. "What happened?" Simel took a deep breath. Nizar wasn't alone. In that moment, Demet's face turned pale. "What do you mean?" she asked. Simel looked straight at her. "There's someone else behind all of this." Those words echoed in the room. "Who do you think this hidden person is? Someone everyone trusts, or someone completely unexpected?" Back at the mansion, the tension was rising with every second. Asli quietly walked in. Her face looked calm, almost gentle, but her eyes told a completely different story. She greeted everyone politely, but inside, her thoughts were much darker. "Everyone in this house is hiding something," she thought. "And I will expose all of it." Asli's plan was far more dangerous than anyone could imagine. Because she was no longer attacking openly, she was moving in silence. When Mercan saw her, she paused for a moment. "Welcome," she said cautiously. Asli smiled softly. "Thank you. Everything is going to be very different now." "But do you really think Asli has changed, or is this just the beginning of a much bigger game?" Just then, Ateş's phone rang. An unknown number. He frowned and answered. A cold voice spoke. "Are you ready to face the truth, Ateş?" Ateş's expression hardened. "Who is this?" The voice let out a quiet laugh. "Not yet, but very soon you'll learn everything, especially about Musian." Ateş's heart started racing. "What do you mean?" But the line went dead. Ateş stood there frozen. Musian, what did she have to do with all of this? He rushed downstairs. When he entered the living room, everyone was there. Binaz, Musian, Mercan, and Asli. But something was off. There was a strange silence. Binaz's eyes were filled with tears. Musian looked tense, almost like she already knew something was wrong. Ateş looked around. "What's going on here?" And then, it happened. Binaz couldn't take it anymore. "I'll tell the truth," she shouted. Everyone turned toward her. Her voice trembled. Murat was not who you thought he was." Musian's heart felt like it was about to explode. "What are you saying?" she yelled. Binaz closed her eyes and spoke the truth. "Murat was your son." Time stopped. Everyone froze. Mercan stood in shock. Ateş stared at Binaz, unable to process what he just heard. And Muzian slowly stepped back. Tears began streaming down her face. "No," she whispered. This can't be true." But the truth was already out. How do you think Muzian will face this reality? Learning that she caused her own son's death, can a person survive that kind of guilt? Muzian suddenly collapsed to the floor.
"What have I done?" she cried.
But the real destruction was just beginning, because this secret was only the beginning. At that same moment, outside the mansion, a car quietly stopped. Someone stepped out. Their face was hidden, but in their hand was a file. And inside that file were truths powerful enough to destroy everyone. So tell me, who do you think this person is?
And why did they come now?
Inside the mansion, everyone's life had already begun to change. But none of them knew the full truth yet. And maybe that was the most dangerous part of all, because some truths don't just change lives, they destroy everything. And the story doesn't end here. The real nightmare is just beginning.
Fire.
If you enjoyed this intense and emotional story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel Series World for more Turkish drama updates, breakdowns, and shocking twists every day. Now I want to hear from you. Backhand index pointing right, do you think Muzian can live with the truth? Or will this secret destroy her completely? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it.